Has the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As you can understand, all of my colleagues are very eager to speak on the Hemel City Council Parana Park Vesting Bill 2010 because of all of the important issues that I think are raised within this bill, some of which I'm not sure have been touched on, and it'll be my pleasure to raise them in this debate. And first of all, I'd like to say I'm sure that government members would be very pleased that we're so eager to stand up in support of this uncontroversial bill. But I do want to just contest that there may be some elements of controversy in this bill that have not yet been touched on, and those are the ones that I wish to traverse very briefly in my contribution. First of all, though, I think members have already outlined that the purpose of the bill is to vest Parana Park land in Hamilton City Council as a recreation reserve under the Reserves Act 1977, which of course requires the repeal of the existing legislation governing Parana Park, which is the Hamilton City Parana Park Empowering Act 1958. And that is intended to give Hamilton City Council more flexibility in the way that they deal with Parana Park. But I do just want to set out two areas in which I have concerns over the use of the word flexibility, given the way the government has chosen to treat some of our park areas in recent times. And I think you'll note that that's a very natural segue to the wider debate that we've had over the use of some of our park land under the new regime of the John Key-led national government, in which nothing appears to be sacred when it comes to parkland. I'd like to just set that out for the Hamilton City Council, that Parana Park, the national members may laugh that this would seem absolutely ludicrous, but so did Auckland City Council when they heard that Great Barrier might be mined. That seems like an absolutely ludicrous suggestion on the face of it, and yet still that is what the national government has put forward as a serious proposal in quite an extensive document. Not only Great Barrier Island, but also the Coromandel. And when you break that down into an analysis of the areas, again, national members may laugh that that seems like a hysterical suggestion. We have camping grounds in the Coromandel around the Tairoa area that are proposed as areas that the national government consider ripe for the mining. It is not such a ludicrous suggestion that Parana Park may be captured by that once it's under the new cover of the Reserves Act 1977. Not a ludicrous suggestion at all, and one that I think that in every debate we should be raising the fact that nothing is sacred anymore, even if it is a protected land area, even if it is on Schedule 4, the main protectorate that we had for our national parks, for our precious sacred conservation areas, even that was up for grabs. In fact, I sometimes question why we even have Schedule 4 at all, given it now seems to be meaningless. So that's one point that I wanted to raise. I really find the background of Parana Park in and of itself, though, fascinating. And in fact, I enjoyed reading some of the history of Parana Park, the fact that it was donated and that some community groups, the Hamilton Beautifying Society, were involved in the development of the space, created paddling pools, open-air theatres, picnic areas, public conveniences, and the fact that Rotary was involved in developing those as well. I think that really highlights for me that the Hamilton community, a community that I know my colleague Sue Moroney, who has been selected as the candidate in Hamilton West, knows well, knows that that community takes very seriously their public spaces. As do I, and that's something that I think Auckland would bode well to keep in mind, the importance of public spaces as the new super city comes in to develop some of its public areas. I want to finally touch on, though, one final issue that I have. When I was reading about Parana Park and its great expanse and the flexibility issue that the council now has, I'd like to issue a word of caution to Hamilton City Council. The fact that the government now is on the prowl for public spaces to send its limited service volunteers, because there's such a mass of young people now being sent to limited service volunteers. They're being denied access to support if they're unable to find work until they go on these compulsory mini boot camps, courtesy of Mr Key, and they're now being held in park spaces all over the country. Parana Park could be the venue for the next limited service volunteers course, which is no longer a
Sorry to
voluntary
interrupt
course.
the member. Her time has expired.
Such a good point.